Hi everyone, it's Marissa from the Duxbury Free Library with your Take and Make Crafternoon. This week we are making a toadstool house with the super useful cardboard tubes. So I'm going to go through what you got in your bag if you registered for this program. If you didn't register, these are still easy supplies to get, and then we will make it together. So in your bag you got a cardboard tube. This is toilet paper roll, and it's cut in half, so you have supplies in your bag to make 2 toadstool houses. You got 2 light green circles of cardstock. So this is going to be like your little yard for your house. You got 2 long skinny strips of green cardstock. This is going to be your grass for around the base of your house. You excuse me, you got 2 red circles of cardstock. I think I wrote construction paper on the instructions, but I decided to go with cardstock because it's sturdier. Got 2 pieces of plastic straw. This is if you want to give your house a chimney. You don't have to, but it's there in case you do. You got a foam brush. I don't have my foam brush next to me, but there was one in your kit. And you got a cotton swab. And for this project, you'll need your own scissors and paint if you decide to do a lot of painting, and glue. But we're gonna get started. So the first thing that you want to do once you have all your supplies laid out is you want to decorate your cardboard tube any way you like. You can paint it, you could color with markers. I like this neutral color, this sort of very light beige color, but I'm going to draw a door on mine. So I have a couple Sharpies here. So this is the part where you can, you could give your house windows, shutters. You could just make your house a striped house or a polka dotted house. But for our demonstration purposes, I'm gonna draw a door. So there's my basic door, and now it needs a door handle. So I'm gonna use my black marker to just draw a little dot for my door handle. And I'm gonna give it a little outline. So there's my little door. I also think maybe I'll give it a little window on the side. And maybe a big window in the back. So there's my back window, and there's my little side window. So you can make your house as elaborate or as simple as you like, but this is what mine is going to look like. Now I want to take my strip of green cardstock and cut it into fringe. So I want to snip from the edge, but not all the way to the bottom. If you got a wider piece of cardstock like this one, you might actually want to trim the whole length of it because it's going to wrap around the base of your house. Like this one, it covers up like my whole door. So you might want to trim it down and then cut your fringe, or if you don't want a little strip of grass, you don't have to add it. But this one's a little long too. But I think I'm gonna trim it a little bit. It's easier to trim it before you cut the fringe because then you're not cutting off all these little tiny bits of paper. You're just cutting off a little bit, just like one long strip. If you have a pair of pinking shears, they make that zigzaggy cut on fabric. So you could use those, or if you have any of those decorative scissor shapes that cut a fancy edge, you could use those also. But I'm just gonna do this little bit of grass. All right, second time was better. So you can see it's kind of ruffled up like grass. There we go. And now I want to glue it around the base of my house. I want the fringy part up. I've just got my white glue here. I'm going to put the glue on the cardboard tube. I think that'll be easier. Put a little bit on, glue it down, and just keep doing this, wrapping it all the way around. So there's my house and there's my door. So you can see that it's kind of gets a little bit hidden by the strip of grass. So maybe next time I'd make my door a little bit bigger, or use an entire cardboard tube, which is also an option if you have some at home. But it's kind of cool. It's like hidden away, a little hidden door. So now, if you wanted to, you could decorate your grass. And now I want to make the roof of my house. So toadstools traditionally have red caps with white dots. So I have some white paint. And I'm going to use my cotton swab to make the dots on this. You can use any color you like. And if you didn't register for this and didn't get a kit, the size of these circles is I just traced like a can that I had in the cabinet. So you know what size they are. I didn't use a compass or do any sort of fancy size. Now I want to wait for this to dry before I do my next step. Okay, so now my red circle is dry, the white dots are dry, and now I want to make this into a cone shape. How would you do that, you ask? It is pretty simple. You want to take a pair of scissors and you want to cut from the outside edge of the circle into the center. So just one snip. You don't want to go further than that initially, unless you need to. So what I'm going to do, and I don't know the exact radius of my circle, so I'm just going to look at what I think is the center. So now I've got a little slit, and I want to overlap the edges until it makes a little pointed top. I think I need to go a teeny bit further. Like just a little tiny snip more. And then you want to glue the overlap. So you want to put glue right here and overlap it and hold it while it dries. So I'm going to do that and I'll get back to you in a second. So while I'm holding my roof in place to get it to dry, I want to talk about your chimney. So I gave you 2 pieces of plastic straw, and I say in the instructions to glue it on the roof for a chimney, sort of like so. But it's not going to stay. It's not going to have any strength unless you're using hot glue, which is great if you are. So what I would recommend for your chimney is to take a pointy pair of scissors. So these are my pointier scissors, and cut a little, like poke a little teeny hole. So you're going to need a grown-up's help with this. And then just put your straw through the roof and put a little glue around the base of it, because then your straw is like inside the roof and it won't fall off. So I will show you how mine comes out in a second. I'm still waiting for this to dry, but I wanted to mention that I put that in the instructions and then I tried to do it and didn't work. So instead of just gluing your chimney on, you also may want to snip your straw a little bit to make it a little bit smaller. You want to cut a little, prick a little tiny hole and just widen it slowly, and put your straw inside. So I'm going to show you how that looks in just a minute. Okay, so my roof is dry, and you can see, now you can put it anywhere you want on your roof. I just don't recommend putting it where you overlap the 2 pieces, but you can see I made a small hole with my pointy scissors. These are cool because they lock, so I can just use this as sort of a pointy tool, and I just made a little hole, and I'm gonna trim my straw down a little. This is why the chimney, well, the whole thing, I mean, you can make this however you like if you have a better method, but this is why the chimney is optional. This is just a little wooden point turner tool. So I just use it to widen my hole, and I'm just gonna slide my straw in there, and then I'm gonna glue it on the back side and let it dry, and then I'm gonna glue it on the top and let it dry. So once it's all dry, I will come back, once it's all dry, I'll come back and show you how the roof comes out. So I'm just gluing it on the inside, and then I'm gonna glue it here on the outside, and I'm just gonna hold this in place while it dries, and then I'll come back to you in just a couple minutes. All right, so while my roof is doing its final drying with the chimney, I am going to show you how to put your house in its yard. So this is the same size circle as your roof. I just traced a can from my cabinet, and you can put it anywhere you want. If you want to have it towards the back of the circle, you can do that to give it sort of like a front yard, or right in the center is also a possibility. And I think I'm going to put mine a little bit towards the back. I like that idea. So now I'm just going to put glue right on the edge, the bottom edge of my cardboard tube here where the grass meets. And I'm just going to put it on my circle and let it dry. And then once my roof is ready, I'm going to do the same thing with the roof. And I'll show you how to do that also. So I've got my glue on, and I am just going to set it right about there and just hold it in place while it sets. So mine has a little bit of a front yard. I'll turn it around so you can see the back is like that. But you can do it anyway. Like if you have cardboard tubes at home, you can make yourself a whole neighborhood of these little houses. So while this dries, I am going to get my roof ready. So there's my roof. My glue isn't quite dry yet, but it's setting up real nicely. And I am just gonna go ahead and glue it on like that. So what I just did for the bottom was put glue around the base of my tube. Now I'm gonna put it around the top on this edge, and then very carefully set my house on, and then just leave it alone and let it dry for a while. And then I'll come back and show you what it looks like when it's all dry. So let's do that. If you want to add anything else to your house at this point, like a little walkway in your yard, if you wanted to draw like a little path up to the door, or you decided maybe you want to put some flowers on the yard here with some markers or some crayons, now is the time to do it. You can do it after, but it'll just be a little trickier once the roof is on the house. So I'm going to leave my grass the way it is, but this is the time to add any last minute detail to your house or your yard. So now, like I said, I'm going to keep my yard the way it is, but I'm going to glue on my roof. So here's my little cone roof. You can see how when I fold it over, it makes that cone shape, and how I threaded my straw through the roof. And so that's holding up really well. So now I'm going to put my glue along the top here. Just right around the edge. This glue is just school glue, Elmer's glue, so it's gonna dry clear. So if it drips a little bit, it's not too big of a deal. And I'm just gonna set my roof on very carefully. Make sure it's pretty even. It's a little crooked, that's all right. But I like it right about there. What do you think? I think that looks good. All right, so now I'm just gonna wait for it to dry, and then I'll show you it when it's all finished. All right, my friends, so I decided at the last minute to give my house a little front walkway. So when I was gluing the roof on, I decided to just put my fingers on it to press it down a little bit. That makes it stick a little bit better. And I got my chimney there. So there's my little blue door and my walkway and my grass, which you can see all the way around. And there's the back window and the side window. Now, if you do decide later that you want to add some other stuff to your house, that's fine. I just wanted to give you a basic idea of what you could do, and then I can't wait to see what you decide to do with this. So you can post your Toadstool House creations on our Facebook or our Instagram. We're at Duxbury Free Library. And if you have any ideas for other take and make Crafternoons, I'm always happy to hear your ideas, see if we can make it happen. I haven't sort of figured out what I'm gonna do for take and make crafts for September yet, so I'd love to hear your ideas, and we'll keep you posted on any future take and make in any sort of schedule for those. And I hope you had fun. Stay safe, stay well, and I can't wait to see your Toadstool neighborhoods. So we'll see you real soon. Thanks, everybody.